In 2019, 3 years after their adventure in Jumanji, Spencer Gilpin, Anthony Fridge Johnson, Martha Kaply, and Bethany Walker lead different lives, but plan a reunion brunch in Brantford that year. Spencer, apprehensive of the meeting due to depression, contemplates returning to Jumanji where he had purpose, and spends his first night looking over the broken video game system he held onto. The following day, his friends visit his home, meeting with Spencer's grandfather Eddie, who is recovering from hip surgery, and Eddie's former friend Milo Walker, who is visiting for an unknown reason. Learning that they have no idea where Spencer is, the group search the house, and find the Jumanji game repaired in the basement. Realizing Spencer returned to the game, his friends decide to follow him. The game malfunctions when starting up, sucking in only Fridge and Martha, along with Eddie and Milo, forcing Bethany to contact fellow Jumanji player Alex Freak for help. Inside the game, Martha finds herself as her avatar Ruby Roundhouse, yet Fridge becomes Bethany's avatar Professor Sheldon Oberon, while Eddie and Milo become avatars Dr. Smolder Bravestone and Franklin Finber respectively. After instructing Eddie and Milo on the game's rules, the group encounter non-player character Nigel Billingsley, the game's guide, who reveals that since its last use, Jumanji is suffering from a massive drought. To leave the game, Nigel reveals that the group must recover the Falcon's heart, a magical necklace stolen by warlord Jurgen the Brutal, which can end the drought, if brought before sunlight. And uttering Jumanji, transported to a desert called the Dunes to track down Jurgen, and after narrowly escaping a flock of pursuing ostriches, the group encounters Spencer operating as skilled thief Ming Fleetfoot, a new avatar, who agrees to help them, after blaming himself for their predicament. While attempting to escape the dunes, the group face new challenges and problems, along with collecting an in-game item called a Jumanji berry, and discovering a pool of glowing green water that allows them to switch avatars. In the process, Eddie bickers with Milo, revealing their friendship ended when a diner they owned was sold behind Eddie's back, forcing him into retirement. After the group convinced the pair to work together in escaping a troop of mandrills, they soon become reunited with Alex, as his avatar Jefferson McDonough, and Bethany, operating a new avatar called Cyclone, a black horse, that can only be understood by Finber. Working together, the party leave the dunes, and find a river with the same glowing green water, allowing Spencer, Bethany, and Fridge to become their original avatars, while Eddie and Milo respectively end up as Ming and Cyclone. Shortly after changing characters, Jurgen captures the group with his mercenaries, and brings them to his fortress. Escaping their confinement, Spencer pursues Jurgen to his airship, while the others distract his men. Finding himself unable to best Jurgen, Spencer discovers he is weak to the Jumanji berry, incapacitating him long enough to send him plummeting to his death. Discovering Cyclone his retractable wings, Eddie and Milo work together to rescue Spencer, and bring the recovered Falcon's heart to the sun, calling out Jumanji, and ending the drought. With the help of Alex, he found out Cyclone also had strengths and weaknesses, one of those strengths being able to fly. Returning the necklace to Nigel for safekeeping, the group are surprised when Milo elects to stay behind, and protect the land. Learning he was dying in the real world, and thus sought to make up for his actions, Eddie reconciles with him before parting ways. Upon returning to the real world, Spencer decides to teach his grandfather about video games, while Eddie uses what he learned in the game to convince the owner of his old diner to hire him on as a manager, with his grandson and his friends turning up to enjoy a meal together. In the mid-credits scene, the heating mechanic Spencer's mother hired finally shows up, only to be drawn to the game, while Spencer and the others are surprised to witness a flock of ostriches rush past the diner.